The Earth is 99% empty space, and you probably won't believe me, right? But I'm going to explain it to you, all right? And it's good that you don't believe me because it's outrageous what I'm saying. You see, everything on Earth is made up of elements, right? Whether it's helium, whether it's boron, whether it's beryllium, right? The Earth is made up of all these elements. And you might be saying to me, well, okay, it's made up of all these elements, all right? I'm sitting on a table. Table's made out of wood. I can feel the table. It's not empty space. And you see, everything on Earth is made up of atoms, all right? And atoms make up everything because they are the smallest particle of an element, all right? And they track back all the way to 440 BCE, where this ancient Greek philosopher said that everything is made up of these tiny particles. And I'll link a video down below, this TEDx talk, and it talks way more about the history of it. It's super cool, right? So what does an atom look like? Well, an atom looks like something like this. And this is the atom of, all right? And the reason I just breathe is because we're talking about oxygen. And you see, oxygen has an atom that kind of looks like this, all right? It's just a diagram. It's not really what it looks like. And the reason of that is because atoms, the electrons are constantly flowing around, right? And they create this thing called the cloud, which we'll talk more about later, okay? And you see these here, these purple spots are your electrons. And your electrons weigh almost basically nothing, all right? They weigh basically nothing. But you have this white part that is known as your nucleus, all right? And the nucleus is made up of protons, all right? But also it is made up of neutrons, all right? And you see that there are 8 electrons, but there are also 8 protons, all right? And there are also 8 neutrons. And you see the protons plus the neutrons is equal to the AMU. You see, scientists knew that atoms, they have such a small mass that they gave it its own unit. And so the AMU is equal to 16, all right? Each proton, each neutron gives us 1 atomic mass unit, and that's where we get our AMU from, all right? And it's important to note that the nucleus is made up of both of these things. So the mass is always in the center, okay? And that's super, super cool. And you see, each element has its own number of protons, all right? Hydrogen has only 1 proton, so it is the first element. But oxygen has 8 protons, therefore it is the 8th element, and no other element has the same number of protons, and that is super cool. But how does that make the Earth empty space? Well, let me explain it to you with a little diagram. I'm going to draw here. This is a football field, right? And there's a little stadium at the back, right? And this football field has a football, and that's the little football right there. This football is the representative size of the nucleus. Can you believe that? So all the mass is that little football, and the rest of it is empty space. It is empty space. That is super cool, right? Empty space. But how much is that the percent? Well, it is 99% empty space. So, well, I mean, come on. But the Earth, I mean, I can feel things, I can touch things. Nothing is empty space, you see. The reason is because the atoms the atoms make up the elements, right? They are the smallest particles of these elements, right? Such as iron, all right? But iron, we know, makes up part of the Earth. So we know that the Earth is made up of all these elements that are made up of atoms, and atoms are 99% empty space. So therefore, the Earth is 99% empty space. And how cool is that? Right? The Earth is 99% empty space. And the reason for this is basically because the Earth and all the atoms that make up the Earth, all right, there are billions, trillions, there are gagillions, and that's actually the largest number of them all around the Earth. And that's how we can feel things. That's how we can touch them, all right? And that's the basics of science. I mean, how cool is that? So I really hope you enjoyed this explanation of the atom. I really hope you learned something. Have a great day. It's curated. Stay happy. Stay healthy.